Imagine you're living 300,000 years ago. No courts, no judges, no prisons, no lawyers, no written laws, nothing. Just a group of humans trying to survive in one of the most dangerous environments that ever existed on this planet. Now imagine someone in your tribe steals another man's food, or attacks someone without reason, or betrays the group to an enemy tribe. What happens next? There's no police to call, no courthouse to report to, no jail cell waiting, just the tribe, and whatever the tribe decides. And what the tribe decided was far more brutal, far more fascinating, and far more sophisticated than anything most people ever imagine when they think about ancient humans. This is what actually happened when someone broke the rules. First, the question that changes everything: did ancient humans even have rules to break? The answer is yes, absolutely yes, and the proof is written in their bones. For a long time, researchers assumed ancient humans lived in pure chaos. Every man for himself, strongest wins, no structure, no order, just animals in human skin. Then, the discoveries started coming in, and that entire theory collapsed. Burial sites across Africa, Europe, and Asia revealed something remarkable. Ancient humans buried their dead with intention, with care, with objects placed deliberately beside the body, flowers, tools, food. That level of ritual behavior doesn't happen in chaotic societies. It happens in organized ones. Societies with shared beliefs, shared values, and shared expectations of how members should behave. Fossil evidence also revealed ancient humans caring for injured and sick tribe members, keeping them alive for months, sometimes years, even when they could no longer contribute to the group's survival. That's not animal behavior, that's moral behavior, which means ancient humans didn't just have rules. They had something far more powerful. They had a shared understanding of right and wrong, and when someone violated that understanding, the consequences were real. So what were the actual rules ancient humans lived by? Researchers studying modern hunter-gatherer tribes, communities that still live remarkably close to how ancient humans lived, identified a consistent set of unwritten laws that appeared across virtually every group studied worldwide, and they were surprisingly familiar. Don't steal from your tribe, don't attack members of your own group without cause, don't hoard food when others are starving, don't betray the group to outsiders, don't take another man's partner by force. Sound familiar? These aren't primitive rules. These are essentially the foundation of every legal system ever created in human history. But here's what's fascinating. These rules weren't written anywhere. They weren't enforced by any authority figure. They weren't taught in any classroom. They were passed down through stories around the fire at night, through the reactions of elders when someone behaved badly, through the quiet but unmistakable social pressure of a group of humans who understood that their survival depended entirely on trusting each other. The rules existed because without them, everyone died. Simple as that. Now here's where it gets genuinely fascinating. When someone broke the rules, the first punishment wasn't violence. It wasn't exile. It wasn't death. It was silence. Anthropologists studying hunter-gatherer communities documented a punishment so psychologically devastating that researchers described it as one of the most effective social control mechanisms ever observed in human groups. The entire tribe simply stopped acknowledging the offender. No eye contact, no conversation, no sharing of food, no inclusion in group activities, complete and total social invisibility. For a modern human, this sounds uncomfortable. For an ancient human, this was essentially a death sentence delivered slowly. Remember, in the ancient world, your tribe was your immune system, your food source, your protection from predators, and your entire social reality. To be cut off from that wasn't just lonely, it was genuinely life-threatening. And here's what makes this even more remarkable. It worked. Studies showed that social ostracism was more effective at correcting bad behavior in ancient communities than any physical punishment, because pain heals. But being invisible to the people you depend on, that breaks something much deeper. And if you think this doesn't apply to you, think about the last time someone you cared about gave you the silent treatment. 300,000 years later, it still hits exactly the same way. And if this is already changing how you see ancient humans, we haven't even gotten to the brutal part yet. Hit subscribe so you never miss what we uncover next. And let's keep going, because this is where things get really dark. But when public humiliation and physical punishment still wasn't enough, when the offense was too serious, too repeated, too dangerous to ignore. The tribe made a decision that sent chills through everyone watching. They cast you out, not metaphorically, not temporarily at first. They physically removed you from the group, took back anything the tribe had provided you, and pushed you into the wilderness alone. And understand what alone meant in 300,000 BC. No hunting party, no firekeeper, no one watching for the thing growling in the darkness. No elder who knew which berries would kill you by morning, no one to close your eyes when you finally died out there. Researchers estimate a solitary human in the ancient wild had weeks, maybe days, before something ended them. Predator, starvation, a wound that nobody treated, a river crossed at the wrong point. Exile wasn't a punishment that gave you time to think about what you did. Exile was the tribe saying, "You are already dead to us." And the terrifying part? Every single member of the tribe watched it happen, silent, together, because that silence was the message. This is what waits for anyone else who goes too far. But exile required effort. It required the tribe to physically remove someone, to make a scene, to spend energy on someone they had already decided wasn't worth saving. Some tribes found a darker solution, one that left no blood on anyone's hands. Researchers studying certain ancient community behaviors discovered evidence of something that sounds almost too dark to believe. Offenders weren't always exiled into the wilderness. They were left in it, at night, tied. No dramatic ceremony, no public confrontation, just gone by morning. Whatever was out there in the dark took care of what the tribe had already decided. And here's the part that makes this even more chilling. Everyone knew. Every single member of the tribe knew exactly what had happened and exactly why, but nobody did it. The wilderness did. Clean, efficient, and a message so clear that nobody in that tribe ever needed it explained twice. Some ancient punishments didn't require the tribe to become killers. They just required patience until sunrise. For offenses that deserved punishment but not death, ancient tribes sometimes chose something arguably worse, something the offender would carry on their body for the rest of their life: mutilation. Archaeological evidence discovered across ancient sites in Europe, Africa, and Asia revealed skeletal remains showing deliberate removal of fingers, hands, and in some cases ears, cuts so precise and so controlled they could not have been accidents or battle wounds. These were intentional, surgical almost, carried out with purpose, and the purpose was permanent public record. Every person who ever looked at that individual for the rest of their life would know. No explanation needed, no story required. That missing hand told the whole story to every stranger, every new tribe member, every child born after the offense happened. You couldn't hide it. You couldn't explain it away. You couldn't move somewhere new and pretend it never happened. In a world with no written records, the punishment became the record, written directly onto the body of the person who earned it. Permanent, undeniable, visible to everyone, forever. But sometimes death was considered too merciful, exile too clean, mutilation too quick. Sometimes the tribe wanted the offender to stay, to remain visible, to serve as a living daily reminder of what happens when you betray the people who trusted you. And so they created something quietly devastating. They kept you, but they unmade you. Every status you had earned, gone. Every relationship you had built, severed. Every privilege of tribal membership, stripped away completely. You ate last. You slept in the worst position, closest to the darkness where predators prowled. You carried the heaviest loads. You cleaned what nobody else wanted to touch. You did the work that everyone else refused. And you did all of it while the people who once called you family walked past you every single day without a second glance. Not exile, not death. Something in between that ancient humans understood was far more psychologically destructive than either. Researchers observing similar dynamics in modern hunter-gatherer communities described individuals subjected to this treatment as showing signs of complete psychological collapse within weeks. Because humans can survive almost anything, except being treated as though they don't exist, by the only people whose opinion ever mattered. And then, there were the crimes so severe, so threatening to the survival of every man, woman, and child in the tribe, that none of the other punishments were considered sufficient. For those crimes, the tribe gathered, and the decision was made together. Group execution in ancient communities wasn't the act of one angry person. It wasn't an impulsive act of violence. It was deliberate, collective, unanimous. Skeletal remains discovered at sites spanning multiple continents showed evidence that stopped researchers completely. Ancient human bones with injuries from multiple different weapons, multiple different angles, multiple different individuals. This wasn't murder, this wasn't war, this was a community carrying out a sentence that every single member participated in. Because that was the point. When everyone participated, no one person carried the weight of it. No one person could be blamed. No one person had to live with it alone. The tribe decided together. The tribe acted together. The tribe moved forward together. And the crimes that earned this response were always the same: deliberate murder of a tribe member, repeated predatory violence against women or children, catastrophic betrayal that cost lives. The things that didn't just break the rules, the things that threatened to break the tribe itself. And in the ancient world, the tribe was everything. You did not get to threaten everything and walk away. But here's what makes ancient humans genuinely remarkable. Even after all of that, even after exile, mutilation, enslavement, and execution became real possibilities, they still believed in second chances. Researchers found consistent evidence across ancient communities that offenders who showed genuine remorse, who worked to repair what they broke, who demonstrated real change over time, were frequently welcomed back. Not easily, not quickly, but back, because ancient humans understood something deeply human. Destroying people doesn't rebuild what they broke, but sometimes, given enough time, enough humility, and enough genuine effort, people actually change. And a tribe wise enough to know when to punish was also wise enough to know when to forgive. Ancient humans had no courts, no prisons, no written laws, but they built something more sophisticated than most people alive today give them credit for: a complete system of justice, built entirely on survival, trust, and the understanding that a community is only as strong as the people willing to protect it. Silence, shame, physical punishment, exile, predators in the dark, permanent marks on the body, a life of invisible servitude, and when nothing else was enough, a collective decision that nobody made alone. Every single punishment designed not for revenge, but for one purpose: keep the tribe alive. And here's the thought that should follow you after this. We built courthouses, we wrote constitutions, we created entire systems of law spanning thousands of pages. And at the foundation of every single one of them is exactly what a group of ancient humans figured out around a fire, before any of it had a name. If this changed how you see justice, subscribe to Why Explained, share this with someone who needs to see it, and come back for the next one, because we are just getting started.